Hello everyone, this is Noodle, and I am here today with another one of those top secret pro tips. These are one of those tips where not many people do it, and this is one of the tips that takes a lot of skill to master. I've had several subscribers ask me to do a video like this about how to take out helicopters with a tank. And this is a video I've had on the cutting board here for about a month, trying to collect the footage, trying to get it together. And you know what? This video has taken a lot of time to do. So hit that like button if you do like it. But this is one of those things, if you master it, it will put you on the real tier 1 of tank drivers. Not many people can consistently take out helicopters. It is a really hard thing to do, and this is where I feel I'm kind of uniquely qualified to do this video. In Battlefield 3, I started just shooting at every helicopter I could see, basically, to try to become better at it, because I'd watch YouTube. We saw a couple guys shooting down helicopters. You know what? It takes a long time to learn this. You start off slow. You just kind of go slow. You take shots at pretty much any chopper you see. Basically, I started off once in a while. I'd get a chopper shot down. Then it was maybe 2 around, and it got to the point eventually where it was rare for me not to shoot down a chopper in a round. And I actually started taking screenshots of how many choppers I was shooting down, because at some point it was like, oh, I want to start counting how many I'm taking down. And I counted for about a month. Every time I took down a chopper, I would take a screenshot. I ended up taking down about 350 choppers in a single month. And I estimate I probably took down somewhere around 3,000-ish in Battlefield 3. And my record in one round, I took down 21 helicopters and 4 jets. That was my all-time record. But it takes time to get to that level. And there are many different factors, many different considerations. Take down choppers, and there are just so many different scenarios. And it doesn't help the fact that in Battlefield 4, it's even harder. They've made the choppers a lot better. The gyro stabilizer that is installed on choppers keeps the choppers in the air better. So one of the ways that I'm going to show you how to take them down is a lot harder to do. But it still takes a lot of skill and a lot of timing. And let's take a look at the different ways to take down helicopters in Battlefield 4. The first way of which to take out a helicopter in Battlefield 4 with the tank is via the chopper duel. I have a couple of clips here of which I will show you first in full speed, and then second, new to Noodle Gaming, I learned how to slow-mo my videos. Brilliance, yes, that's my extent of my Sony Vegas editing ability right there. And to confuse things even farther, I'm talking about tanks. My first video is in an LAV, but this was such a good representation of the chopper duel that I think I should show this. And you see here, I'm just dueling with this chopper, just trying to not die, trying to stop him from getting locked onto me, and I end up winning it. Now let's take a look in slow-mo. Here you see, I see the helicopter. I'm just coming out of my base here, and I take a couple shots at it, which makes him recognize that I am there. If you are in an LAV, I do not recommend you doing this. Try to keep those choppers as dumb as possible. Try to avoid getting their attention, because winning a chopper battle in LAV in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 is not an easy thing to do, and more times than not, you will lose. You see, he's coming at me here, and what I am trying to do in the core of this is I am trying to stay under him. He comes at me, I go under him. He goes back that way, I'm trying to be under him. So he has to nose down and get lower to the ground, and therefore I can shoot at him. See, I steer under him there. Boom, he makes a mistake, gets too low. Zuni rockets in the face. game over, buddy. And that is the key to the Heli Duel. Now let's take another look in the tank at a different Heli Duel. You see I'm back out on Silk Road here, taking shots at this helicopter. He's kind of at a distance and a hard angle. Switch over to my gunner seat with my mouse, and I start taking shots at him with the 50 cal in the gunner seat. Then he kind of disappears. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go over here, take some shots at this tank. And I realize all of a sudden I'm getting shot at. And I'll slow it down here to kind of show you this whole scenario, because there's a whole bunch of factors in here. I've got 2 helicopters shooting at me now. I switch over to my gunner seat, and whenever you're shooting a gunner seat at a helicopter, always shoot on the right hand side. That is where the driver is sitting. You can shoot through that glass, and in Battlefield 3, especially in Battlefield 3, I used to do it a lot. Just shoot the drivers right out of the chopper, and you just have a dead chopper falling towards the ground. But in Battlefield 4, it is a little bit harder, because like I said, they do stay a little bit higher. But now I realize this helicopter is behind me, and I'm actually getting shot at by another ground vehicle as well, which does complicate things. So I'm kind of fighting 2 things here. I'm going after the chopper. I realize I have to stay under him, because he's going to get a bead on me and he's going to take some shots at me, and I'm already down to 78 health here. So I'm trying to back under him to try to get him to compensate and lower to the ground, because by backing under him, he has 2 choices. He can either dip that nose, which he just did, and fall at a greater rate, which you can see here. I realize he dipped his nose and I'm looking for him. But this guy's a bit smarter. He realizes that he doesn't want to fall over the ground, and therefore he picked it back up and stayed up in the sky. But by dipping his nose, and that's what you want to make the chopper pilots do, you want to make them get close to the ground, and by driving into him, you make them do that. It's really hard to do. At first you want to turn and burn. You want to run the other way and get away. But by running the other way, you're giving the chopper pilots a longer time to shoot at you. And now I'm shooting at this guy too. And I realize, oh crap, I'm taking out 2 guys. I need to take out this LAV and then contend with that chopper. And I realize the chopper's somewhere behind me. So finally, I see the chopper on the right there. I kind of have to go back, try to get under him, and he ends up taking himself out here. Or somebody gets him with a stinger. But by staying under him, he never got a lock on me. He was never able to get a air-to-ground missile off at me, and I'm able to take out the LAV. Luckily, somebody took out him, and I survived that battle. And that moves us on to the second way to take out a helicopter and armor in Battlefield 4, and it's that belly shot. It uses the same principles as the first way, but the ending is a little bit different. In the clip I'm going to show you, I did recycle from the beginning of the video, but it is a perfect example of how to do it. You see here the helicopter is coming at me. He notices me just about now, and we're going to enter into the duel. I see him coming at me. He's starting to fire with some bad aim, so I steer into him. I drive into him so he goes under me, and as I see he's over top of me, I look where he's going. He turns to the right, and I realize, okay, time to steer back under him, so he has to make that mistake. He turns around there. I start moving underneath him, and by doing this, I cause him to nose down. Whereas before, I would not be able to shoot him. I realize he's going to pass over me, so I turn my turret and I calculate where I think he's going to come out. And by doing that, I see his shadow. I have that hole underneath of his belly there to hit him. and that's the largest target area you can get. And by doing that, it's game over for him, and I win the chopper battle there. And that moves us on to number 3. The third way to take out a helicopter in Battlefield 4 is the face shot. This may be the hardest way to take out a chopper. You have to shoot them straight on. It is pretty difficult. Let's take a look at how to do it. Now that we saw how to do it in fast motion there, let's slow the video down and take a look at it. This is definitely a hard way to take out somebody in a chopper. Now you can see here, I take one shot at him that is kind of a useless shot. Don't quite get it. And in order to pull off a successful face shot, you have to calculate where that chopper is going to be on 2 axes. The chopper is going up and the chopper is coming at you, and therefore you have to meet that chopper at that specific spot by judging the time of travel, how long it's going to take your shell to get there, and where that chopper is going to be. This is what makes this shot the hardest. And you just have that small postage stamp of a little bird to hit. This is a pretty long shot that I took right there, but even when the chopper is close to you, it's hard to judge, because not only are you judging the height coming at you and the time to get there, there's drop on your shell that you have to factor in as well. So you can see I'm using the AP rounds, which will not take a chopper out in one shot, so I have to switch over to the gunner seat, and I finish the little bird off with the gunner seat there. But this is a super hard thing to do. Even at the end of Battlefield 3, when I was taking 5, 6, 7 choppers out in a normal round, hitting choppers straight on was never easy to do. And in Battlefield 4, I'm still trying to learn how to take choppers out. I'm still not as good at it as I was in Battlefield 3. But that's my video for today, guys. I sincerely encourage you all to go out there and start taking pot shots at helicopters well in the main battle tank. But relax, if you don't start taking them out right away, don't worry, it's a very hard thing to do. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Send me a comment if you think I missed something or could do something better. My name is Noodle, and remember, use your noodle.